Much Patterson, I'd some injuries that got worse. Hopefully his start to get better when he climbs.
To 6.
Tade chasing him down, Jonas getting on the wheel. That came to
Evenepoel are trying, if that's...
Gates, make sure you stay tuned. We have way more content from today's gravel stage.
Well, I hope you're well rested. What a stage that was a couple of days ago on the Chemin Blanc. A stage that in the end had no real impact on the GC, but was one that you just couldn't take your eyes off from beginning to end. The riders have had a very well-earned rest day. Now they're back to it for another 6 stages before they get another break. Starting out in Orléans today, they go through to Saint-Amand-Montrond, 187.3 kilometers on a stage that many people think will be one for the sprinters. All of it will depend on what the crosswinds do out in the stage itself and whether echelons have a part to play. Anthony Turgis, winner of stage 9. Big win for Total Energy. Let's take a look back at just how he did it. Well, it was one for the ages. Many of the riders and managers at the start on Sunday morning unhappy about the Chemin Blanc. But at the end of the day, not a single spectator could look back at stage 9 of the Tour de France with any regrets. In a loop around Troyes, in the dust of the Chemin Blanc, we went through all emotions. Breakaway probably thought that they wouldn't do it. They were caught up for a while with the GC favourites. Jasper Stuyven thought he might be able to push through to the end, but ultimately it was Anthony Turgis who perfectly timed things to sprint into the finish and come home ahead of Tom Pidcock.
Au début, j'étais super bien.
Well, I went through all emotions on this stage.
What up?
Good. I thought when I was in
Hello,
doing well, then it would stay
hello.
away. Then I went through some less good times. I came back at the end and I started to believe. The more I got close to the finish, the more I felt that I was just hanging on. But the closer I got to the finish line, the more I started to believe. Going solo, I knew it would be complicated. The riders were very strong, so I needed to make sure that we got there really together, but as fast as possible. And for once, I needed to bet on myself for sprinting and believe in myself, since I'm very fast. Winning a stage in the Tour is like the Holy Grail. A well-deserved reward for a classics man who's often placed but rarely wins. Also for a family that loves cycling. Anthony's brothers had to stop their pro careers because of heart problems. Jimmy Turgis saying that the car was just shaking. We were on local roads, the car was moving, and it was unbelievable. Obviously, I cried a little, but I'm feeling better. It's unbelievable and unforgettable what Anthony's done. We're buzzing with him. Today, he made us live something incredible, and we share this victory with him on the Tour de France. As if these emotions weren't enough, the GC favourites almost turned everything upside down with 80 kilometres still to go, led by Pogačar and Evenepoel. The top 3 in the GC broke away from the peloton and joined the breakaway, only to be forced back by Jonas Vingegaard's lack of cooperation. In the final, once again, Visma refused to gamble and pull with Pogačar, but preferred to stick to their defensive strategy. At the finish, no time gap between the favourites, but the mind games have begun.
opinion, it was the moment to just keep pulling because there was only 2 hours of racing left and a lot of tailwind coming as well. So I think the race was decided completely at that moment. A lot of jumbo guys behind, a lot of UAE guys behind, and also my teammates were behind. So there was not going to be any attacks anymore from the back, I guess. But yeah, that's race tactics, race situations, and you have to accept it. And like I said, in the end, good result, everybody together, no time lost. Second in GC, stage win, a half a minute from Tadej, so perfect first week.
Me and Remco, we did good effort, we break away, and Jonas was also there. So obviously he has great shape. And yeah, you know, you can secure more on the podium, you can make a gap to the others. So 1, 2, 3 would be, to the fourth one would be bigger gap. But I guess Visma don't want that. They're just focusing on me, and they maybe underestimate the others.
Current standings then, today Pogacar with a 33-second lead over Evenepoel, with Jonas Vingegaard a minute and 15 back. Well, all of that does rather forget the glaring fact that Jonas Vingegaard wasn't on his own bike for the majority of the second half of that stage, and as a consequence would have been experiencing very different sensations on the bike than he would have done if he'd been on his own. So a question of tactics, a question perhaps of comfort as well for the lead rider from Team Visma Lease a Bike. Let's hear from Frans Maassen about what he made of the stage.
Frans Maassen, the first rest day of this Tour de France is done. How was it? What did you get up to at Visma Lease a Bike?
Yeah, for us as riders in the Tour, always happy with a rest day, I think. But yeah, I think the people at home, they want to see the race, so they can watch again today.
What did you make of the comments from Tadej Pogacar and Remco Evenepoel after Sunday's stage on the gravel that they made about Jonas Vingegaard?
I don't know what they said, but
they made some comments that perhaps Jonas didn't have the confidence to go, let's say, on Sunday.
Okay, but I think it's normal. It's better to for Jonas to go into the final protected with Wout and Laporte and Matteo, than going in the final with Remco and Pogacar, who are quite explosive, and they for sure would him attack in the last two gravel sections. So I think it was really smart to stay back.
Do you think that takes also confidence from Jonas to say, I'm not going to ride with you, I'm going to play to my strategy here?
Yeah, I think so. We do our ways, and they do, of course, their ways. But I think you saw, for example, in the Strade Bianchi, that Pogacar attacked at 80k to go. No one could follow him, and now on Sunday we did follow, and yeah, that was good to see. And it was not easy, but he's a big rival, of course, and it's not easy to beat. But I think it's clear for us that we had to do it like that.
Thanks a lot, Frans.
Well, wise words. You play to your strengths in this game. It is 3 weeks of racing. No point in Jonas Vingegaard leaving himself exposed up the road on the Chemin Blanc. And he will be delighted by the fact that he's managed to get through that very tricky stage unscathed. Well, they have had their rest day. They are now all set to resume battle. So, what do our experts think about today's stage?
The Tour de France is back after the first race day. We are going into the second week. And Louis-Pierre, it's a bit of a mix of everything in the second week.
Yes, I think there are stage for everybody in this second week. It will be really interesting. But for me, we will not have a lot of change in the top 10 for the GC contenders. I think nothing will change from now to Saturday, because today normally we'll have a sprint. Tomorrow I think it's a good day for the breakaway. I think to Romain Bardet, because we are not far from home, and it's a really important one from here for him tomorrow. Then we can have maybe breakaway or for the sprinters. But I think for the GC contenders, never nothing will happen between today and Saturday.
You know what, guys? Matt Stevens is going to be on the bike for the second week. Matt, what are you looking forward for the second week?
I'm looking forward to getting used to the motorbike, having a sore bum for 6 hours a day. But no, I'm very excited, and I do agree with Louis Pierre. I'll be able to get a unique perspective on what's going on for the first time in my life. I'm looking forward to sharing that with everybody who's watching. But I do agree. I think today's sprinter for sure, nailed on day for the breakaway tomorrow, and then as you said, the weekend, the first foray into the Pyrenees, especially the Plateau de Bay on Sunday. And I think that's where we'll see Jonas Vingegaard come into his own, because he's been, I love the fact he's not been drawn into the race too much so far, but that a really spicy, interesting, varied week to come.
Pyrenees in the weekend, but let's see what's on the menu for the riders on today's stage.
Well, it might be considered to be a little bit of a relaxing day. Orléans, they descend south down to Saint-Amand-Montrond, 187.3 kilometres, and no categorised climbs, which will be a welcome sight for the riders setting out today. They make their way through to the intermediate sprint that comes at Romoratin-Lannetais. That's at 57.1 kilometres into the stage, and then lots of little bumps along the way. And the question, of course, is going to be about crosswinds. If crosswinds have an impact, then we could see a reduced sprint, although we do feel it is likely to be a sprint into Saint-Amand-Montrond. In charge of the sprinters' jersey is Biniam Girmay. 2 stage wins for him so far on this year's Tour de France. Would he be able to make it a hat-trick today? Certainly starts the day as one of the favourites, especially with his form in the sprint so far. Who do our experts think today's stage suits?
Opportunity for the sprinters in the first day of the second week of the Tour de France. And Hannah Walker, we've seen 3 sprinters winning so far in the Tour, meaning we have some hungry sprinters out there in the peloton.
We certainly do, Anders. And for those sprinters coming out into the second week, off after the first rest day, they'll want to make sure that they can try and take that victory. And with only 3 sprinters having a victory to their name this Tour de France, you've got Anna de Mar, who will be searching for success, Brian Cockar for Cofidis, but also Jasper Philipsen has been so consistent but is yet to cross the line first. And so you get to a point where, at what point can you turn those second and third places into a victory? But then it wouldn't surprise me on a technical run-in if Mark Cavendish has his day, Dylan Groenewegen. Alexander Kristoff has been close already, but I really think it depends on the team and the control mat into the finish, into that technical run-in.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a little blip. It's a small climb, actually. Not a lot of elevation, say under 1,000 metres of elevation. A little climb of only about 5% on a main road with about 9K to go. But as you say, we come under the Flamme Rouge, and this, I think, is the most technical sprint finish we've had. There's a hard left, then a hard right, then another hard left, and that will really thin out the shape of the peloton. A very different sprint to the ones we've seen before. But my tip for today is Jasper Philipsen. There's going to be an enormous amount of pressure on him. I think he might deliver today.
Sounds like we're going to have the most technical finish of this year's Tour de France so far.
Most technical, but who will it suit? That's the opinions there of our experts, but will that indeed be the case? And will Alpecin de Koning be able to get their first win of this year's Tour with Jasper Philipsen? Pressure will be on. Just be interested to see exactly how he responds.
We open week 2 with a stage for the sprinter, arguably one of the purest sprint stages that we've seen so far. But the pressure, Matt Stevens, must be mounting at this team for Alpecin-Deceuninck, because whilst Jasper Philipsen has been very consistent in the finishes, he's yet to take a stage victory.
Yeah, and we are, let's be honest, running out of opportunities for the sprinters. The final week, there's hardly any opportunities at all. There's one nailed and one, and that is today. And there's some complex sprints coming up in terms of the parcours, and no guarantees. And you're quite right, there is a lot of pressure delivered in one of the biggest teams here. But saying that, I did actually bump into the team principal, Philip Rudolph, and I said, how are the team coping with the amount of pressure? And he said, well, the key thing is to remain calm and trust our process. We hear that word a lot in cycling, but they have an amazing sprint train. Jasper Philipsen is one of the fastest men in the world, and he's just reminding themselves of that and not changing anything. He said, the moment we change things unnecessarily and we capitulate to the stress is the moment we lose. So it's about keeping calm. And in saying that, I did see Jasper Philipsen. He gave me a wave. He looked very relaxed. He smiled.
It shows he's in good spirits then.
Totally, yeah. I mean, there's always disappointment after the finish, but then it's back to business again.
Absolutely. Well, I was just in the village moments ago, and I saw Marcel Kittel, who, of course, is a 14-time stage winner in the Tour de France, and he was saying this is one of the purest sprint stages he's ever seen, or seen this tour, sorry. And he said it's going to be one for Groenewegen, it's going to be for maybe even Cavendish, but Jasper Philipsen, he thinks, could be the man today. Well, the pressure's on, but let's see if they can deliver.
Quiet before the storm then. Can they deliver? Very relaxed sort of atmosphere down at the team buses at the moment. Does belie the pressure that is mounting. Mathieu van der Poel will be involved, I'm sure, in the lead out for Jasper Philipsen. Will he be able to propel his man across the line?
Christoph Rudolph, we go into week 2. The first rest day is done. How was the rest day at Alpecin-Deceuninck? Did you enjoy yourselves? Did you have some time to relax?
Oh, we did a small loop with the bike. It all was okay. Yes, we had a good day in the end.
Today, it's a big, big opportunity for Jasper Philipsen and Alpecin-Deceuninck to finally try and take that stage win that you're missing. Talk me through the strategy today.
Oh, it will be a hectic day, I think, again. From K120, let's say, it will be nervous because we are going then to part of the race with a lot of roundabouts, and then immediately after, let's say, strong crosswinds. I think everybody knows, so it will be hectic again. So it will be important to be there and see what happens, and if we are there with the right guys.
Only 3 sprinters have taken a sprint victory in this Tour de France. Do you start to feel the pressure mounting on your shoulders or the team shoulders or Jasper Philipsen's shoulders?
No, not really, to be honest. I think we are not far off. And it is what it is, and it's not that easy. It's never earned in advance, so no, it's not that we are not there. Our lead-out is okay, Jasper is okay, but we did not win so far. That's correct, but I think we have to give them 9 out of 10, but they did not win, so pressure is not needed. We are okay, and we will see.
How would you keep the whole team calm and keep that focus without overthinking to win?
Oh, I think everybody in the bus had it, even when he was a youth rider. You are always waiting for the first win, and after that everything goes a lot more smooth and easy, but everybody wants to win in the first week to have that feeling, and unfortunately we did not manage so far, but that's what it is. Honestly, I don't think we feel the pressure for a moment, because we all know that we did what we had to do and that we are not far off, and that's the best thing we can do is just continue what we have been doing last week, so seems all to me.
Thanks a lot, Christoph. Success.
The countdown complete, and the départ fictif is underway here in Orléans. Historic home of Jeanne d'Arc. Saint-Croix. Let's go and hear now, though, from Mark Renshaw.
Well, another day for the sprinters today, and particularly this stage into Saint-Montreux, where Mark Cavendish won back in 2013. It was crosswind action, it was hectic. Potentially the same today with a tricky finish?
Potentially it could be. We can just feel that it's starting to increase a little bit in the wind. We've got some people out in front of the race that can feed some information to us, but my gut feeling is it's going to be a bunch sprint, just as the wind really starts to come up right now. So that'll be exciting. We'll pass on all the information. We've got a super experienced team. We actually watched the finish of the Stage Cav 1, I think 3 stages ago. Get a little bit of motivation before the stage, so we know it really well, but we have to bring it together in the last K. The left, right and left is super important.
What was the feeling when you all watched that? What was everyone's reaction, emotion?
It was funny. It was a few days ago before one of the stages, and we often watch finals of races together and analyse what went right or wrong. Not even races that we've won, but it's always good. And you know, it's a long time ago now to see that, but it's always good for feedback. Yeah, I'm sure he's buzzing anyway. So there's a lot of victories we could watch.
Is Sir Mark Cavendish feeling the pressure, or does he feel like it's, you know, a weight taken off his shoulders, or is it now, well, you know, there's a legacy to be made today?
I'd say the weight's been lifted slightly. You probably had a lot to process after that victory, and if it's up to us, we just keep putting more weight on because, you know, the guys are prepared really well. They want more victories for the team. So also myself, I don't want to just drive down to Nice now. I want to have more victories. So it's the reason why everyone's doing the hard work.
That tricky final kilometre, where do you need to be if you have the best shot to take a victory today?
Look, the crunch point is 1 kilometre from the finish line. So today we see 2 finish lines, one at 1 kilometre and one at the actual finish. So we have to have multiple guys there in the final K. I know he won the other day on his own and he's capable of doing it again, but the team we have, we need to have multiple guys there for him.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Best of luck today.
Overcast conditions here in Orléans ahead of the start of stage 10 of the Tour de France 2024. The rollout takes place as they come over the Georges V Bridge, built between 1751 and 1763, designed by Jean Mywhoosh. Sail across this bridge, still 7 kilometres to go until the stage reel gets underway. It's going to be fascinating to see how today's stage unfolds. 187.3 kilometres from Orléans to Saint-Amand-Montreux once the racing gets underway. But at the moment, lots of conversation going on between the riders as they weave their way through Orléans streets. Christophe Laporte had a big role in helping out Jonas Vingegaard the other day, but burnt himself out quite early on. Many of you, the fascination within the Tour delves deep into the technicalities we see on the different bikes. And Matt Stevens has got some insight now into Fabio Jakobsen's bike.
Here in the paddock outside the DSM Firmenich post-NL team bus with the bike of Fabio Jakobsen. It's a Scott foil. Pretty standard setup. Gearing, so he's gone for a 55 chainring, but the thing that caught my eye was this beautiful custom head unit at the top here. It's an all-in-one integral handlebars, which is very popular, super aero, of course. He's got the Wahoo in the mount, but the mount itself is completely custom. Now, if you just remove it, turn it round, and it just takes it out. So you've got the normal little mount inside, and then around it you've got a 3D printed casing for improved aerodynamics, and also that will help the device from not bouncing out as well. So really lovely, super little bit of custom tech there, just to add a little bit of speed.
Lovely little bit of insight there from Matt Stevens, who of course will be hopping aboard the bike and giving us insight from within the peloton. David Goudou from FDG. One of the riders looking particularly focused there alongside Jonas Abrahamsson, the man resplendent in polka dots once again today, and no threat to his possession of that jersey, with absolutely no points available in the King of the Mountains category today. The man currently in the green jersey is Biniam Gomez. Let's hear from Ace of Intermarché Wanty now.
Versbeek, Biniam Gomez has got a 96-point lead in the green jersey. Another opportunity for him today. Talk me through the chances of Biniam Gomez at Intermarché.
Well, I mean, the green jersey comes to you when you win stages, and we have 4 sprints to go. I think the biggest competitor is Jasper Philipsen. He still performed really good in some of the sprints. So it's not a done race, and we need to be top 3, top 5 in the coming stages. That's our goal, and yeah, then we have to see. But we stay focused on making the best results today. It can be a bit of crosswind today, so we have to race point by point, and we'll see.
Harper, one of Dylan Groenewegen's teammates in the team, Jaco Alula. The first thing that you look for day after a rest day is how have riders recovered. Most of them spent 2 or 3 hours on the bike yesterday. Now back very much into the familiar territory of week 2 of a Grand Tour for the majority. Mark Cavendish, not Renshaw. His team want victories. They're not just here to coast through to Nice. And a technical finish could well suit the savvy nature of Cavendish.
A mechanic's job is never done, it's never over. Before a fast sprint stage, Gianni Vermeersch has decided actually he doesn't want to have a 54 chainring on, so the mechanics are doing some adjusting, putting a 56 chainring on for Gianni Vermeersch because it is such a fast day, and the majority of the riders also riding on a 56 chainring today for arguably a day that could be for Jasper Philipsen, but it just shows the work is never done, even with not too far, not too long to go until we start stage 10.
Not too far at all. 4.3 kilometres to go until the real start of today's stage. About an 8-kilometre rollout today before hitting that start line. There is the weather forecast for the day. It is still warm. There is some wind out there coming from the north. They are mostly heading south, so it might not have too much of an impact. Be if there are crosswinds where we really will see that is told. Le département de Harvey, Why Share, then Share at Saint-Indre, and then finish in Share at Saint-Amand-Montrond. In the jerseys, Tadej Pogacar in yellow, Jonas Abrahamsson in the maillot à pois, Guillaume Gamay in the maillot vert, and Remco Evenepoel in the maillot blanc. And that 90-point lead for Gamay at the moment does look like a substantial one. However, points is a big cushion, but if Jasper Philipsen starts winning stages, that could change very quickly indeed, and he is the man that they view as the biggest threat. Building towards Dusty Day. 14 juillet was on Sunday at the end of week 2. And an issue there for Niels Eckhoff. Get remedied as quickly as possible. Looks like a puncture. And then he'll have to make his way back up to this group, which is going through the motions. Alexander Vlasov will be our only non-starter in stage 10. Just 4 riders who have pulled out of the tour so far. 5. Quite a major injury sustained by Vlasov at the end, well, halfway through the Grand stage, but one of which slightly miraculous that he managed to get through to the finish. Conditions will be comfortable for the riders today, not unbearably hot as often can be the case as they start to head south in July in France. They set off today, making their way in the first part of the transition down the Pyrenees. 2.5 kilometers to go until the départ. Once again, supporters out en masse to see the tour pass through. Niels Eckhoff just making his way back. Get everyone back together. Should mean that we do get underway at the marker. Mathieu van der Poel, conversation about there with Remco Evenepoel. What will Mathieu van der Poel be able to do? We will pass a number of stunning chateaus on our way through today's stage.
Legs are tired today.
stage 9, giving France their 3rd stage win of this year's tour, making it one of their most successful in recent years. We have another 12 stages to go to add to that tally. Chirpy in the peloton. They make their way towards the départ réel. There is just a kilometre to go now. We have to wait and see what will unfold in the initial part of today's stage. How many will get in the breakaway? Will the breakaway be allowed to go? I imagine it will be on a stage like today, but will it be a lonesome, thankless task for one rider, or will there be a group of them? Well, in order to find out, let's go and join our commentary team of Sean Kelly. But first, Rob Hatch.
Hello everybody, hope you've all had a breather, nice rest, because we're back for more. All smiles at the end of a fairy tale first week of the Tour de France. The world champion here with the former world champion, Mathieu van der Poel and Remco Evenepoel. But today it should be about the fast men. However, the last time we were in Saint-Amand-Montrond, instead of being a quick fire sprint, it was a windy, drawn-out affair where things got very tense towards the end. We expect an opportunity for the same to happen today. There is wind about. It gets up as the afternoon goes on, but as always, it could be nervous until then. Stage 10 of the Tour, 187 kilometers, just 1,000 meters of climbing, and leaving the beautiful city of Orléans. Rest day here yesterday, sun shining at the start of week 2. At the end of this week, we will be in the Pyrenees, and the real business, if he hasn't, will have started. Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe are a man down. Alex Vlasov yesterday confirmed that he fractured an ankle and will be unable to start as we go to kilometre 0. 172 riders at the Tour de France are on the way, all present and correct in the commentary box. Joining me, Rob Hatch, is Mr. Sean Kelly. And Sean, I'm looking, I'm watching, and rather like the other sprint stages so far, I'm not sure if I'm seeing an early breakaway today.
Well, I think it was going to be a day where we will see this, where it's controlled by the sprinter teams. And when you look at the route we have got today, as we've seen some days in this race, teams are thinking, well, you know, not much of an opportunity here to go all the way, and you can see immediately not any action from kilometre 0. So it's a day where the sprint teams and all people talking about it, it looks like it's going to be a day for the sprinters. But in that final we could see some more blowing up, and in the final more so, the final 60-70 kilometres, that's where it could get quite hectic if the wind gets up and it's in direction that it can make the race very nervous.
The forecast is for the wind to increase in potency as the afternoon goes on. The direction should be more or less right. This is a town that we visited several times in cycling. You as well, Sean, in Paris-Nice as well. You've been there as a commentary team in the last few years. The Tour was here 11 years ago, and on that day, it was Alberto Contador's team splitting it in the crosswind for the GC, taken advantage of by a brilliant Mark Cavendish, who was able to beat Peter Sagan. Today, we could see the same today, but as we forecast very briefly then, I don't think it was the most difficult thing to forecast no breakaway at the start today.
No, it's an interesting one. If you're a betting man, well, you would bet against the all-action-packed start of the stage here because of the situation. We can see, you know, immediately not any takers really, and you know, a lot of more opportunities to come, I suppose. And when you consider what they've been through as well in that first week of racing, although they're coming out of a race day, if if it was a day where there was some opportunity for the breakaway to go all the way, we would have seen a lot of action, but unfortunately they know, and they have got that feeling as well, any opportunity for the sprint team to control here, they will do that. And you know, we're getting to a point now where some of the sprint teams haven't got that victory, so it's going to be more critical again that they keep it together and get it down to a sprint here, and that's what we're seeing on our screens at the moment. And it's going to be one of those days where it's going to take a bit of time to light up. Let's hope the wind burners get up.
Oh, I gotta eat.
Have a hectic final.
I gotta have a sody.
Before we get there, there is plenty to talk about. Of course, we've got quite a bit of housekeeping to do, starting with that shocking injury for Alex Vlasov. I don't know if anybody's seen the pictures of the bike over on social media, but it was split into 4 or 5 pieces. At the time, we were questioning the wisdom of his continuation in the race. Of course, not medical professionals, so our questions aren't always valid. But having heard stories of him vomiting on the way back into the end, could have been suffering from the pain, could have been a head problem as well, but it's certainly a body blow for the team too, and we wish Alexander Vlasov all the best with his broken ankle. He's one man less now for Primož Roglic, who's in conversation with Jan Tratnik, the man who's rumoured to be joining him next year at Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. So then, stage just starting. What do our experts think is going to happen?
Well, on stage 9, only Steve Chanel scored some points after having picked Tom Pidcock second on the stage. French expert moved up to 3rd, tallying 88, but Bobby Traxel still in the lead with 108. Alberto said, my favourite for today's stage is Jasper Philipsen. He's experiencing a bit of a difficult start to the Tour, but he's always been there on the sprints, even if he hasn't got a stage win. But he has come here with a clear goal. That's to get stage victories and fight for green. It's complicated, but I think today Jasper Philipsen will take the stage win. Bobby Traxel, current leader, said the day after the rest day is always tough. Now we're already in the 10th stage of the Tour, and it's going to be a sprint. A long day, hopefully with a breakaway, but the winner will be Groenewegen. Groenewegen will take his 2nd victory of the Tour de France with the red, white and blue and celebrate with his hands in the air.
Stage 10 will be won by Dylan Groenewegen from Jayco Alula. I know I'm last in this game, but I've been a bit of a copycat. Rumors have told me that my good friend Bobby Traxel, who is leading the game, has picked Dylan Groenewegen. So Bobby, I'll follow your lead. Dutch domination, Don Dylan Groenewegen.
While Steve, Jens and Dariush went for Philipsen, Orla chose Cav, and Ilenia has remained faithful to Gourmet.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. And Biniam Girmay now has a 96-point lead in the green jersey classification. Great opportunity for 70 points max today to be picked up, by the way. And you can see that Astana, Kazakhstan are ready and looking for more in terms of control. There is Mark Cavendish to the front. That's a continuation of the rest day for now. Sean Kelly, how was your rest day?
Very nice. After the grabber rolls, I needed a rest day because that, you know, the tension was there all day, and there was no point at all during the full stage. You could relax and, you know, have a chat like we're seeing here from the rider. So, yeah, nice to have a rest day and get out on the bike a bit, because always need to do a bit of biking when you're talking about it. Some people think when you talk about the Tour of France for 3 weeks, it's going to keep you in good shape. But you have to get on your bike and you have to pedal yourself, otherwise you're going to lose it all.
I feel seen. Jonathan, what were you doing on the rest day?
I was working, so no real rest day for me. Doing an Olympic promo for Eurosport, which was a very, very interesting one, which I think we'll be going to at some stage today, which will bring everyone up to date with, well, what is now 17 days to go until the Olympic Games.
Well, you're watching on the home of the Olympics, of course, and on the home of cycling. If you've missed anything in the last week, the latest Gruppetto is out. You've got a very, very quick recap on the Eurosport Cycling YouTube. I spoke to Matt Stevens for about 20 minutes yesterday, and he was waxing lyrical about Biniam, about Cavendish. He was telling me his coffee routine, how he managed to get by the what he thought were pretty poor coffee machines on the road. He's on the motorbike today, and we'll hear from Matt throughout the day, but if you want to see his chat after the stage, you can go to the Eurosport Cycling YouTube channel. And if you want to re-watch any of those moments from last week, the last few kilometers of each stage are up there, as well as daily highlights. And keep it with us this week on Eurosport Discovery Plus, live and on demand, each and every stage, both here and at the Giro d'Italia Women. So rolling out through the forests. No exposed areas yet. Wait for that to come later on. Everyone having a chat. Riders will be happy with this, won't they, Sean? You'd imagine it's a bit of a continuation of the rest day for the minute. Not quite the coffee ride, but, you know, given what's to come and what's been, they'll be pretty happy with this.
Yes, I think there will be a lot of riders happy with it, but the breakaway, the baroudeurs, as they say in French, you know, they might like a day where it's a bit more lumpy in the earlier part, opportunities, you know, to try and get into a breakaway if the race is active. But, you know, if you're a small number of riders and the teams who want to get something out of this, because in the final again, you know, it's not going to for a lot of those riders
Okay.
teams. But
Let's try this again.
And it doesn't present, well, then you have to just wait and get on with it here and enjoy the day.
Jonathan, this is spectacular. I don't think even if I carried on working and there was a stage every day for the next gazillion years, I'd be able to afford even the deposit on this place.
No, I think very few people would be able to. We are going to see a number of absolutely stunning chateaux as we come along the Loire today. This is the Chateau de la Ferté-Saint-Aubin, and construction there originally began back in the 11th century with a fortress to guard the Cosson crossing, but it was towards the end of the 16th century when the land passed into the hands of la Ferté-Saint-Nectaire family. They were formerly known as the Saint-Nectaire, where, as you can see, the construction really got ramped up a notch or two.
Beautiful, beautiful place. It's nice and warm today, by the way, 25 degrees. A little bit hazy. Clouding over as well, but with that wind forecast to get up this afternoon, might well clear up. Heading south, we've already been to the most northerly part of this year's tour, and by the end of the week we'll be in the Pyrenees. Let's see what the teams are saying about this start.
But anyway, let's move the line to the front in case there's any chaotic situation, and make sure no big groups go that creates chaos, okay? Create that then especially.
Oh, that message coming through from Zach Dempster on the Ineos Grenadiers radio, and I guess the sports director is going to have a job keeping everyone awake for now.
Yeah, certainly I think we hear from the director of sportive just to keep the contact there with the riders and, you know, keep them a little bit motivated so they don't totally fall asleep here on the back of the peloton. And the danger is falling off at this pace. Often we see that happening when you're having a chat with one of your, better friends, let's say, in the peloton. You can see the way, they look at each other here, and if anything slows up in front, you can touch a wheel very easy, and it's happened myself during my career. It happened sometimes, and you can fall quite heavy going at this slow pace.
Tour de France reaches stage 10. We're in the double digits now. Not too many digits between the big four. German classification starts like this in week 2. It's a 28th yellow jersey in the career of Tadej Pogačar. Of course, one more than Jonas Vingegaard. 33 seconds between the top two in this current tour. They are Pogačar, of course, as the leader, and white jersey Remco Evenepoel. The separated by 1 minute and 15 seconds. In third place is the two-time defending champion Vingegaard, and the big four, they're separated by 1:36. Of course, last in that run at the minute, but certainly not out, is Primož champ here. Let's go to our own champ on the bike, Matt Stevens.
It's Matt on the motorbike here. First opening few kilometres of stage 10. And I haven't been on the back of a motorbike since 1986, when my dad drove me from London to Yorkshire. So it's a long, long time. I am so excited, so stoked to be reporting from the moto. I've got some big boots to fill, Jens, of course, and Adam. And the feeling of the peloton right now is that it's very chilled. I thought this was going to be a stressful one. It might be at the finish, but right now there's lots of riders coming back. I saw Anthony Tergis, the winner before the rest race, strolling back. On the front of the bunch, everybody looks nice and relaxed. Some of the director sports teams are tucking into some lunch. So right now, I've a feeling that this race might not open up for a little while yet. There's a real kind of end of term feel to the peloton in the early stages of this race. There's Niels Pollitt. They're all rolling back, looking good. Yeah, guys. There we go. Lovely, lovely. Good vibes here from the back of the peloton. Handing back to our lovely commentators.
Well, thanks to the lovely Matt Stevens. He said it's got an end of term feel. Matt's gone for a non-uniform day there, hasn't he? Look at that, a gold jacket on the back of the bike. He's bringing some style. Good to hear from Matt, and we will hear from him throughout the day. Let's hope that something happens that he gets to report on. As he said, he's expecting more action later on. Talking about the gaps in top four there, Sean. It looks very nicely poised still, doesn't it, this tour?
Yes, and that is the great thing, because you know, we were always concerned the earlier part of the race for different reasons. Being in Go, of course, you know, coming back after a long time out, how would he manage the 4 stays? And he has done it excellently. And we see him on the gravel roads on Sunday. You know, the other riders, Pogacar and Evenepoel, they wanted to try and work him over, make it difficult for him, but he wasn't taking that bait at all. And we could see, you know, he did what he needs to do, just follow but not work, and you know, he wanted the team around him, and that is understandable, because when you're coming back after that long injury off the bike, not a lot of races build up to the tour, that's the tactic you have to use, and he used that really well. The others weren't happy with it, but that's always the case. You know, you're going to have these mind games being played, and yeah, we have a race on between the big 4, and a lot of the other riders as well who are in the GC standings, nobody getting into major difficulty and losing, you know, big amount of time. And there, I mean, the guys who are looking at maybe at the top 5, top 10 places, all very much in it. And yeah, there were a concern for a lot of teams, I think, going into the gravel roads, that they would be a difficult day for some, but everybody got through quite well.
What was your take on the gravel stage? Because we heard all the chat, didn't we? Oh, it's not for me. I don't think it should be in the tour. You know, you can prepare for months and then you can have a mechanical and lose it all. I understand the riders and the bosses' viewpoint on that, because they invest so much. But I think that it's produced such an entertaining day that this is good for the sport, isn't it?
Well, it's very good for the sport, and it makes it, you know, really interesting. And for our viewers, of course, there were so many people waiting for this stage on Sunday. And you know, anybody you talk to that's into the bike, and they talk about the gravel stage coming up, and that will be a really interesting one. So yeah, I think it's good for the race. And the race organisers, of course, now they're not going to listen to teams. It's not like it was 35 years ago, where you had these patrons and they would, you know, possibly go on strike on some of those stages if you threw them in. But it's not the case at all, and the teams are always going to be given out, because there is that risk, of course. Can I see from the team owners, the riders themselves, there is that big risk of losing your chance of, you know, having the fight for the win of the race, or is in the top ranking at the end of the 3-week race. So there are always going to be riders not happy with it, and you know, but I think, you know, we're not going to see any changes where they will be throwing in cobble stages, a gravel stage in the years to come, and it's going to happen. Not every year, of course, but it will be thrown in on the occasional year. And that's something the riders will have to just live with, and you have to be able to raise that. But yeah, I can understand, you know, the risk. If you're in a, you know, if you're in a bad luck day, you can lose a lot of time. But great thing that everybody is still in the fight very much after this bad stage we had on Sunday.
I think there would have been a lot of converts, those who might have doubted, would have enjoyed it the other day. Jono was watching on with us. Jono, we didn't get a chance to speak to you too much the other day. We didn't get a chance to draw too much breath ourselves. But I could see you. I could see you were transfixed. What was their reaction of it?
Yeah, it was fascinating. There wasn't a moment to come and speak to me, to be perfectly honest. I don't know whether I would have been ready to speak because I was so absorbed by the racing. A question that's emerged, and we did deal with at the top of the programme a little bit, the tactics employed by Team Visma, Lisa Bike, for Jonas Vingegaard, the fact that he didn't race, was fascinating. I just wanted to ask Sean, one thing that doesn't seem to be spoken about particularly is the fact that Jan Tratnik's bike was the one that he was on. How different and difficult would that have been for him to actually sustain an effort?
Well, it's always different when you get onto somebody else's bike. So here the riders, even the spare bike, sometimes they don't want to get on the spare bike because they feel it's not exactly the same, although it's measurement-wise it's totally the same. So it was a problem for him, but it was very, very close, so he just had to get on with it and get it through the day.
Take a look at the stories, and happiness, well, it can often be found in the small things in life. Little trek, and that was what it's like, what we described to you. Do not take your eyes off the stage. Place finish in the end. But a great ride all the same. Talking about Jan Tratnik's bike. Real connection. For Tudor Quick Step. Just reminding Tadej Pogacar there in the right-hand side of your picture to take the day off. Interesting routes taken by Jonas Vingegaard.
Not sure Axel Laurence was going there, the under-23 world champion. We certainly saw that Jean-René Bernaudot was probably off to the closest champagne cave to pick a bottle or two, Sean Kelly. Now, Bernaudot's the boss of Total Energy. You've known French cycling and its landscape for a long, long time, having ridden for a long, long time, and then been a part of the sport as a team owner yourself and as a commentator. 2017 was the last time that Bernaudot's team won a stage. You and I talked about this on one of the very early stages of the tour, I think, because we were recalling Lilian-Calmerjan's victory at the Station des Rousses. I was going to say yesterday, as the rest day getting involved. Sunday was such a special day, an incredibly special day for Jean-René Bernaudot and for Anthony Turgis.
Well, you could see, you know, the excitement there in the final, and for a rider of the past, Jean-René Bernardeau, a great rider himself, and then being involved in the owner of a team for so many years. And when you go back to 2017, it's a long time, and we just see how much it means to those teams here to get just a stage win. It just changes everything for them, and the excitement there in the final. And when you get it in the earlier part of the race, end of the first week, it's a great situation to be in, because then the team is going to be really on a high, and the riders on the days that will present an opportunity to get in the breakaway, I think we will see them more active once again. It just raises the level of everybody, the morale, the spirits of all the personnel, but of the riders out on the road. It does change a lot, and you just never know what can come out of this. But they've got their victory. The tour is good for them if they do nothing from here on until they get to the finishing knees. And for Jean-René Bernardeau, it must take a lot of pressure off to get that win here, because the tour, as we hear, is so much publicity during the season. The Tour of France for a French team, French people, all of that within the team, it's a huge one for him.
Well, the first Tour de France in 5 years where French riders have won 3 stages. A super French start, but there's one French team. I was just looking down at who'd won what and when. It was Cofidis for many years, isn't it? But there's one French team that might be about to enter a bit of a crisis unless they can do it this year. Because Groupama has not won a Tour stage since before the pandemic, and it has now been 3.5 seasons where they've only won a stage at one single Grand Tour. That was, if you remember, Arnaud Démar's sprint dominance in the 2022 Giro when they took 3 stages, but they've not really looked like getting close yet, have they, Sean, with all of the top riders they have? And there'll be a bit of pressure on Groupama to join the French party.
Big time. I think Marc Madiot, he is really under pressure to do something in this race and get a stage win. When you look at, Jean-René Bernardeau's team, it didn't look like where were they going to win a stage, and suddenly into the break, the situation worked out, and they've got their stage win. So it can change in the matter of 2 or 3 days, or even 24 hours, depending on what stage is coming up. It could change very quickly, and that's why you need, the director sportive to keep the guys motivated as you go into the second week of racing now. And when those days does present, well, then you have to be present, and you cannot afford to miss a breakaway that is possible going all the way. You have to have a man in there. For Groupama FDJ, that is going to be the situation. That's going to be, I think, the team tactics on the days that there will be the possibility of that happening.
Well, nothing in the general classification for them at all now. You'd imagine that days like tomorrow, they want as many riders as possible at the front of the race. We talked about Total Energy there, and Anthony Turgis was the man who finally had his big day in the sun. Special day, and looked as though number 7 was lucky for him, because it was the 7th of the 7th, and it was his 7th Tour de France participation on Sunday. So 777 brings up a big number 1, which was the first big win at this level at the Tour in his career. From a family as well that had so much talent in it. Remember, a couple of his brothers having to retire because of cardiac issues. But there they are. Total Energy have done it. Courcard with his former team there. Of course, he's a former member of that squad. Laughing and joking, and there was lots of celebrating, laughing and joking yesterday. The Total Energy. Ironic, really, that the victory now comes, Sean, after they'd spent the last 2 or 3 years spending a heck of a lot of money on Peter Sagan to try and do that.
Yes, well, that was, I think, a move within the team. Maybe didn't bring the results that they were hoping, and they spent a lot of money there, of course. So it can happen with with lesser riders, maybe, that you say to yourself, where can they get a stage win? But they can do it.
Chatting away way at the Tour de France. Nice long sleeps, chats, chance to meet family yesterday. Heartwarming pictures and videos on social media. Danny Rowe joins us. Danny, good rest day for you?
Lovely, thank you. I got to see the kids go back home for a day, but my goodness, it went so quick, like it would all for the riders as well.
Well, lovely to have you back. We're going to get into the general classification in a minute and those tactics that we talked about the other day, because there's been a bit of afters on that, haven't there? We saw in the interviews after the stage. I know that you guys discussed it a little bit on the breakaway, but we're going to delve into it in a moment. For now, if you're watching on the television, you're off for a quick commercial break. And a reminder that if you don't want to miss them, you've got to join us on Discovery Plus. Almeida there, from a Portuguese champion. 13 years ago today, that another Portuguese star took his first Tour de France stage. Rui Costa was the winner then, beating Philippe Gilbert for the first of his 3 Tour wins. The others came in 2013. Bold stages, one down the years for Portugal, as we get Danish and Swiss representation here at the front, just pedalling along. Jensen showed us all around the new mechanics truck yesterday on social media. Beast of truck. It's housing Jake Alula, keeping everyone happy. The posh kitchen in the middle that our very own John Harris Bassett like. Christian Jensen was trying to sneak away, even though he knew he was being filmed. He was demonstrating how he sneaks in for a chocolate bar every so often. He found where all the goodies were held. One long road out of town today, all sheltered for now. And approaching later on, Vierzon in particular, but that slight change of direction and an opportunity as the wind gets up this afternoon for crosswinds. Sean, it's a part of the world you know well from Paris-Nice. It's something that's always possible on this route because it's open and it's one of the windiest places in France.
Well, it has the history of that, and you know, with the Paris-Nice, we've seen, you know, on many occasions when we come through this area. When we were here in the Tour of France, of course, we see it again. So it's not early season Paris-Nice. The weather conditions, you know, can be very, very windy. Where this time of year, a little bit of a better chance of getting, you know, calmer weather conditions. But again, it can blow up, and we're here for this afternoon. There's a possibility it could get up a bit more, so it will be nervous, and you know the teams will want to all be in the control position in the peloton, and just that alone it makes it nervous. And if there's a wind there, well then we could see some gaps causing the peloton to split, and you just never know. But for the moment, it's a real calm situation, and they're really, you know, taking this opportunity just to catch up with everybody. And you know, the early part of this race, there haven't been many days where there's been this calm. There was some of the days there they had to play about a bit, and it was always that little bit of nervousness there. But today, real calm and everybody just relaxing. Danny, looking at the forecast later on, I know you always have your finger on the pulse as far as these things are concerned. You might not be able to tell us to the minute when it's going to kick off, or is it? But enlighten us. What's the situation?
I can give it a good go, Rob. I can give it a good go.
Please do.
So, I have been doing my research, of course. 58.8 kilometres to go. They will take a left-hand turn, and that is where it becomes very, very exposed for around 25 kilometres, and they turn into a tail crosswind, which is most conducive to be able to really split that peloton. Today's race is on the same roads as the finish back in 2013 that Mark Cavendish won, where it absolutely split to pieces. So I'm hoping we'll have a bit of crosswind action today.
Welcome back, everybody. Romain Bardet will be looking to take it easy today because tomorrow is a huge day in his whole career. Yes, he took the yellow jersey on day one here, but this is his final tour, and tomorrow he's on home race in the Massif Central. There's the Claddock and Vingegaard in conversation. And Vingegaard, well, he was the subject of a lot of conversation, certainly in declarations post-race the other day by Tadej Pogačar and Remco Evenepoel. Sean and Daniel with me to talk about this. And I'd love to get both of your insight and opinion as to what happened, because yes, you can understand the frustration for Pogačar, and particularly Evenepoel, because Roglic was distanced and Evenepoel wants the podium, doesn't he, here? There was a real chance to put time into Roglic the other day in a split. But I think on the other hand, you can also understand exactly where Vingegaard's coming from.
I can
He's
totally understand.
getting into this, isn't he? And he's getting
Yeah, I'm gonna eat good after this, hopefully.
I took 7 minutes in 2 days in the mountains last year. Maybe I can do it again.
He took 1 minute 40 in the time trial alone, so of course he wasn't going to work on that gravel day, and we discussed this in the breakaway. We had a situation where the three of them were up the road and Vingegaard was somewhat neutralising this move. Remco was aggressive. He wanted to go all the way to the line. He could have put more time, like you said, Rob, into himself and Roglic. But ultimately, for Jonas, he had the best classics team in that race. He was going to always ride aggressively. He had more to lose than gain. And putting himself in that position was isolating him. Even if he'd gone to the line with those two, then he would have lost time in the bonus seconds. There was also a situation where he was with his teammate Jorgensen and Tadej Pogačar, and people say, well, he could have been your bodyguard, then you weren't isolated. But even then, if they had come to the line, he would have lost those bonus seconds. So absolutely job done for Visma, yes, on the gravel day. They did the perfect execution of tactics there, and they'll be really happy with where they are.
Sean, how did you see it?
Well, I think Vingegaard walked it down really well. You know, coming back after the long time out, he just needs more time to get into the race, and I think he's hoping the final week that he will be just better as the race go on. And if that's the situation, well then, play the cards. Just do not ride with the others. Wait for your team as he did on Sunday.
Right, just pulling alongside the EF Education Easy Post team car, and I think I woke Charlie Regalis from a sleep. Charlie, what? A kind of steady opening few Ks.
Yeah, you know what they say, the wise sleep when they can and the fools sleep when they must.
I love that, I love that. I mean, how do you think it's going to unfold today? It's one of those days where you can't really fall asleep, isn't it? An easy couple of opening Ks, but with the crosswinds later, everybody's got to watch out.
No, I mean, obviously the first part of the race is pretty well covered in pretty thick forest. But everybody knows that the race and the scenery will open up later, and I'm sure there'll be chances to speed up there, and that's probably why things are the way they are now, because people know what's coming.
And what about the weather forecast, Leeds? We've got a warning, it could be storms with about an hour to go.
Yeah, you can see it bubbling up now. Typically when that happens just before there's more wind.
Thanks, Charlie. Cheers, mate.
Well, last ride of 2024.
Thanks, Matt. With Charlie Regalis there. That was interesting. Didn't factor in storms later on, though.
No, and it's just going to add, isn't it, to the nervousness of this peloton. Clearly not nervous at the moment. Absolutely no stress whatsoever. Mark Cavendish here. He's won here before, and we were also talking about how, you know,
Hope everybody has a good New Year's. Be safe tonight if you're doing anything. See you guys tomorrow. I might stream a little later, but we'll see.
It's just going to add to that. So if there's a breakaway, it's going to make it really, really hard for them to stay away, because naturally in the peloton behind, it's going to get quicker and quicker all day.
Tomorrow is technically a rest day, so I might swap that. We'll see.
Final few days where he tried and tried and tried again, and then on that gravel day coming so close. But I think it just shows what a fighter he is, and he's definitely going to have more opportunity within this tour.
Fred Wright and Ben Turner having a chat there. Here's the laughing and joking.